Slide 73, Lesson 4, Demonstrative Pronouns. This, that, these, those. Okay, we're going to have a look at the words for this, that, these, and those in Hebrew. And they function more or less the same way as in English, but there is a masculine version and a feminine version. Again, things in Hebrew, things are masculine or feminine. So a thing is not an it, it's a he or a she. It's a masculine or feminine thing. So a chair, a table, a house, a car, a forest, a city, these are all things, but in Hebrew they are either masculine or feminine, which may sound a little bit strange. That's the way it is. So the first one is the word zay. Zayin Aleph. Sorry, Zayin Hey. Zay. And that means this, zay. And it's a when it's a masculine thing. So when you're pointing to something and you're saying, look at this, you say zay, this. Look at zay. Look at this. And it's a masculine thing you'll be looking at. Otherwise, the word is zot. Zayin Aleph Tav. Zayin Holem Aleph Tav. Zot. So that holem gives it an oh sound. Zot. So here we have the aleph having a oh sound from the holem. Zot. So that just means exactly the same as zay, but when it's a feminine thing, you use the word zot. So that's the word this, but it's the feminine singular as opposed to the masculine singular for this, which is the word zay. So, for instance, the word for land in Hebrew, aretz, or haaretz, the land. Eretz is land, haaretz is the land. If I wanted to say this land, I would use this word here, zot, not this word here, zay. I'd use zot because the word land, aretz, in Hebrew is a feminine thing. It's a feminine noun. So you'd use zot. Whereas if I wanted to say this man, I would use zay because man is a masculine. Okay, next example. This is the word for that. And it's literally the word for he. And the word for he is who. Hey, shurek, or vav, with a little dot in it, aleph. And it's pronounced who. And it means he. But in this context, it means that. So if you're pointing to something and you're saying, look at that, you would use the word who if it's a masculine thing. So that's again a masculine singular. And how do you know whether this is translated he or that? Well, you just know by context. And if it's a thing, then in English we don't usually call things he's or she's. We call them thises and that's and so forth. So that would be a that, who. And the word for that, the feminine word for that, is not surprisingly a feminine word for she. Just like the feminine word, the masculine word for that is the word for he in Hebrew. So the word is for that, feminine version of that is the word she, and in Hebrew that's the word hey, chirek yod aleph, or he. He. That's a feminine singular. So if we want to say this, we say zay. And if we want to say this, but it's a feminine thing, we say zot. And if we want to say the word if we want to say that, then we say who, if it's a masculine thing or a person. And if it's a feminine thing or person, the word for that is he, just like the word for Hebrew and for she in Hebrew. So it's the same word. Now the plural, if we want to say these in Hebrew, the word is alay. Aleph, Lamed, Hey. Alay. This would say alah, but because it's followed by a hey, that lengthens the sound. So it goes from alah to alay. Alay. These. So that's a masculine plural. And we have the same word again for feminine, these. It's in Hebrew it's the same word, just like in English it's the same word, these. And that's the feminine plural. And we have the word him or hema to mean those. Him or hema. That's the masculine word for those. That's the masculine plural, MP. And the feminine version for the word those is hen or henna. Hen or henna. Those. It's the feminine plural. So him means those, but it's masculine, and hen means those, but it's feminine. And in certain circumstances we can have hemma or henna. And again, it's just a matter of learning these. Zay and zot, that means this. And who and he, that means he or she, but it also means that if it's a thing. And the word for these in Hebrew is alay. Alay. And the word for those is hem or hema, if it's a masculine things, and if it's feminine things, it's hen or henna. So that's what we call demonstrative pronouns. It's just a fancy way of saying these words here: this, that, these, and those. And in Hebrew it's zay, zot, who, he, alay, him, hema, hen, and henna. And we're going to see lots of examples of that in the slides to come. So let's have a look at them.